Reference. Okay, well, I got the gas tank back in and hooked everything up, and installed the fuel sender. You have to remember what the orientation of this is, and fortunately I went back to my videos and I could see it. So this is looking pretty good. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with these little rust pits. I might try to treat that with my favorite Evapo-Rust, see if that takes that off. Maybe just rub it in. It's very light, shouldn't be a problem. So this is looking pretty tidy in here. Got some little detailing work to do in there, but this is looking okay. This is my next phase of the project. What I'm trying to figure out is how to use this portable blaster unit that I last used maybe 15 years ago or 10 years ago. And what I'm thinking of doing is, what I'm trying to figure out is how to contain the grit. I do have sand. Where is it? It's in there. Very fine sand. So that should cut through this rust pretty well. What I think I'm going to do is use this as a catcher and essentially put each section in there and aim the blaster sort of down at it. In the meantime, I'm going to use that tarp and have the tarp around it. I'm like circling my hands like this. Have the tarp around it for any of the overspray to try to contain the grit. I'm going to have to reuse that grit a couple of times. I don't have any extra. At least I don't think I have any extra. So that may work. I might, if I had more time today, I might try to do it today. If not, maybe tomorrow. It's nice, clean. It's nice, cool, very dry weather. And if I sandblast this thing in humidity, this thing's going to rust up. This looks like more like fun. I'm going to try to blast that off. You know, I cleaned it off last time off the other. I'm going to blast it off. I think it'll come off no problem. So that's the plan. All right, well, we'll see how it goes. Well, it doesn't look it, but I sandblasted this whole thing using my portable sandblaster, and I also did the tailpipe. But I have to tell you, this was an extremely difficult, time-consuming. I think I was sandblasting for 4 straight hours. And of course my old sandblaster broke. The tip broke, so I had to use another one, another nozzle. I shouldn't say another nozzle, another gun. And what a pain in the neck. This is the muffler. And I'm going to try to paint them tomorrow. That's going to be a trick. I'm going to do them in my shed. It's going to be cooler. Actually, it's going to be, I think, a little warmer than today. Today's very cold and dry. But anyway, this compressor got a full workout today. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. All right, well, this is my improvised spray booth, otherwise known as a shed. I just treated this with MEK to get some of the blast dust off and whatnot, and I'm going to paint it with this stuff. I have two paints. This is the regular exhaust paint from Eastwood, and I'm gonna spray most of the exhaust with this. The headers I'm going to spray with high temp. So after I paint this, I'm going to dry it with heat and see how that goes, to see if I can handle this and get it the heck out of the way, because painting this is going to be a trick. I'm going to have to suspend it from the ceiling. So we'll see how this goes. Well, this is the net result of my painting and everything. Look how I hung these from the rafters. You know, just the paint sprays on really nicely. I got two different kind of paints. I got the exhaust paint and I got the 1400, which is the header paint. The header gets 3 coats. You have to wait a half an hour between coats, which I sort of did. But anyway, I like the finish on the 1400 so much that I sprayed over the regular exhaust paint with the 1400 because I like the finish better. I figured, what the heck? So I got 2 coats back here, 3 coats up at the header, and this, I don't know what this is called, resonator, I don't know. And I did the same thing for the muffler. I just like the color better. Why? I don't know. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is use a heat gun, and I'm going to heat up these header pipes, cook them a little bit to get a little bit of a cure going. Actually, this pipe heats up pretty quickly. It's really amazing. So I don't think it'll take that long to do. So let me get to that, and hopefully it won't rain out today, and we can transport these back into the garage. All right, well, I'm here today on this rainy morning trying to put the wheel center caps back in. And I will say this. I got this one back in. And what I did was I dremeled out around the circumference. I dremeled out the inside just a hair. And I was able to get it to sort of seat. I mean, it's in there, it ain't coming out. But I'm not sure if it's in there completely concentric, if you will. It's a little bit off. But it ain't going anywhere. I've tried, it looks like it's wide on this end than that end. But this could be a little bit deceiving depending on how much material. I mean, these things are made to a certain tolerance. I don't know. But I got it back in. I'm going to work on the other one. And I guess we'll declare success. Got the tires mounted, of course. Which is kind of interesting because the guy said to me, you don't have to actually put tubes in it. Of course, it says tube type. But he said this type of valve would work with a non-tube. But I said to him, these are not, these are radials, but they're not steel belted radials. So not that that matters, as these tube tires, but anyway, they look really nice. All right, just a postscript on the, I got all the caps installed. And I will say this, there was varying degrees of loss of material in here. So in other words, some had to be dremeled out a small amount, and some did not have to be dremeled out at all. And I don't know why when I took them off, the caps would just press right back in. So I was trying to Dremel some of them, one of them out, and I said, holy cow, it went in really easily. I didn't mean to Dremel it out that much. But anyway, I got them back in. And they look good. I secured them with this glue, E6000. Don't ask me why, but I think it's a pretty good glue. I didn't want to put something in there that was, like epoxy or anything like that, although that probably would have worked fine. This glue, I think, is strong enough to hold it in and pop it back out if necessary. So it's E6000. I made that tool, didn't work. So, calling it an official wrap now. So the tires are pretty much done. Okay, well, I am filling up the steering box, and I'm using this Penrite steering box lube from, Penrite. I got this from Classic Alpha. And this stuff is like, it's got a consistency of Vaseline. That's the best I can. It's almost exactly like Vaseline. But apparently it's high pressure. So I filled up the steering box with it. And I'm going to put on the brake master. I got the exhaust manifold all sealed up, tightened down. Let me get that little. I was doing some work under there, so I used this mirror occasionally, and I tightened up all the hardware on the exhaust system. So that's ready to go. So now I'm working my way back out, and I'm going to put on the brake master right now. And gosh, it's been a long time since that's been on the car. But let me go get it, and going to work on installing that puppy. All right, well, we have the makings of a hydraulic system. As a matter of fact, I think the hydraulic system is buttoned up for the first time since December. Just looking around here at certain things. It's looking pretty good. So we are on pace for. I have to hook up these sending wires. I better do that. So we're on pace for mid-April to start to fire up this puppy. So it's looking pretty good. Got a couple of ancillary things. I got the battery tray down there. Got the battery over there. I'll be putting the battery in, of course, to try to turn the engine over with no compression yet. Just to get the system kind of primed, so to speak. All right, well, we're starting to reinstall some ancillaries. This stuff is all done. Of course, there's no fluid yet. I got the battery hooked up, and when I did so, the emergency flasher switch, this is probably the first shot I'm taking, emergency flasher switch is broken because it won't go off. So what I did is I took out all the fuses, except, and number 3 is the only one I really had to take out. But that being said, I'm going to be reinstalling the radiator right now. And God, look how beautiful this radiator shroud is. It's like perfect. And get that going. That's going to take a little bit of a while. I did static timing on the distributor, so we have theoretically a spark occurring when we want it. And by the way, this is a good battery. It's a group size 34. I bought it at Costco a while ago. Been having it rest in the basement. I did not hook this up permanently. I'm going to be taking it out and charging it again, but I've got enough voltage to get things going. So let me get that radiator in here and see how that looks. I just installed the rubber gaskets around there. They're all perfect. And let's get that going. All right, well, we got most of the car back together. All the radiator hoses are reattached. And radiator's back in, of course. The battery tray and everything is ready to go back in when it's appropriate. The overflow bottle, I got to do a little bit of work to. Not that there's that much work, but on the overflow bottle, I'm going to replicate what the factory did. Let me explain what they did. On the tip here, there was a bunch of dried, for lack of a better word, sealant. And the best I could tell, the sealant was like a contact cement. So, and I think it was just to create a waterproof seal in there, even though this thing's pretty sealed up well. But I'm going to put some contact cement really thick in here, let it dry partially, and then reinstall the hose with the Roma block. That should be fine. Tank looks pretty good. Not perfect, but good. That's the front. I tried to clean this up as best I could. It's pretty good. I might have to do a little bit more work on that. So, there's one other little nagging thing. Not that there's one, there's many. So let's take a look in here. We have not been in this car for quite a while. And here's the issue. Let me get this out of the way. Let me get this drop light here so we can see a little bit what's going on. I think I explained a few days ago that I had to disconnect. I disconnected all the fuses here because that warning switch, the hazard warning switch, the one that flashes the lights, was broken. So I did some research on the internet and on the Alpha bulletin boards, and a number of people have run across this issue and have successfully fixed it. So I'm going to fix that because I cannot stand having this many fuses out of the fuse box. So I'm going to try to approach the I'm going to try to get to the console by removing this panel over here, the side panel. That should give me easy access, but I'm going to try to get in there and see if I can get that flasher switch out. And there's a couple of ways to fix it, but I want to get to that. All right, well, we're installing the radiator, and I have to tell you, you have to do a lot of fiddling with the the rubber over here. You have to get the orientation of the rubber just right before everything fits properly. Of course, when you install the radiator, put the cover on so you can get the cover over where the fan is going to go. I'm installing the fan right now. And let me just give you a good shot of this, because this is something you have to be aware of. This fan is installed backwards. I only put one screw on it, and as I looked at the orientation of the fan, it's installed backwards. I only put one bolt in there, and then I stopped to double check. But that's backwards. If you install it backwards, you're not going to get the proper amount of volume of air flowing in the right direction. So let me get that turned around and get to that. I got a couple of things falling off here. I don't know where that belongs. That's a really big tab. I'm going to put it somewhere. All right, well, let me get that fan turned around. All right, well, I fixed the switch per the instructions on the Alfa website. And in is off, out is on, and it works perfectly. I used a little piece of cut off zip tie that was just tied in against itself. I'll put a link in the description of the procedure for the fix. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, but you can get through it. Anyway, there is so much dirt in here. I'm trying to get my drop light off here. It's stuck. All right, I gotta get this console back together. But and I of course got to put the switch back in here. But there is so much dirt just sitting on all the surfaces here. I'm just like assessing how much work it's going to be to do the interior detailing, and the bottom line is it's going to be a lot of work. But anyway, that's the kind of work that I don't mind doing as much as some of this other work I've been doing. I got to put all those I got to pull the fuses back in and see what's actually working and not working. I'm very curious to see whether or not the sender unit, the gas sender, is working. I'm going to test that out right now. It should be showing empty, which would be a red light showing up over there. But of course, I got no I've got no power going to a lot of the cars because I took all the fuses out. But I'm going to be starting to put some of the fuses back, turning the power on, and seeing if I'm getting a response. So that's pretty much it. I actually put back the overflow, so everything, and I tightened up all of the hose clamps, the Roma blocks. So essentially, from a conceptual standpoint, the car is very close to just adding fluids and starting to run. So we'll call it a wrap for the day and pick it up tomorrow and see where we go.